In this video, I have for you guys some tips and advice that I have for having long-term renters. It's so easy when you have someone renting out your car for a long time, but that means there's a lot of things that need to happen after they have the car for a while, like maintenance, tires, all these other things. So I want to share with you those things that have saved me time and money and just really make it easy for the renters so they can continue to rent. So let's get right into it. What is up, guys? This is Justin. I make videos about side hustles, new business ideas, and my own personal businesses. So today I have another HYRECAR video for you, and we're going to talk about having a long-term renter. I have some tips. I have some things that I've learned how to save time, how to save money. I'm going to share them with you so that you don't have to go through the pain and you can just learn from this video about having a long-term renter. I have a long-term renter. She's had my car for about 7-8 months, and I have another renter that's had my car for 3 months. That's a really long time when people are driving 1,000 miles every other week. They're putting a lot of miles on your car. That means oil changes, that means tires, that means maintenance, that means phone calls, that means car being towed, that means a lot of things. And so yeah, a 2-day rental is great. It's easy. Get the car back. You could do an oil change on your time. But when someone has your car for 7 months, that means a lot of stuff that needs to happen from you as the owner. So I'm just going to share with you guys my tips and some things that I do that save myself time, make it easy for my renters, because I want to make it easy as possible for them. As least resistance it is for the customer, the better. It's just like, that's just how it is anywhere. If with Amazon, buy now, it's just easy. You click the buy now button, it keeps you buying more. If my renters don't have to come all the way to me to get an oil change, or they gotta call me to do this, if I could just make it as simple for them, then it's just easy. They'll keep renting. There's no resistance. So let me turn this down because that is bad. I'm blown out. Easy for them, and then that just means it's easy for me. That's less heartache, that's less of my time, it's more passive, and that is what I want. That's what I want. I just want it to be extremely passive, really easy. So there's going to be a few things that I'm going to go over today. The biggest one is car maintenance, like oil change, tires, mechanic errors. The second one is going to be, let me grab my notes, I wrote them down. The other one's going to be price adjustments for long-term renters. I have something that I went through recently I just want to share with you guys, so stick out for that one. And how to deal with late fees and when you have a long-term renter or someone going late. So let's get into the first one. All right, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about with you guys is with having a long-term renter. Right now, I have a renter that's had my car for 7-8 months. And I have another one that's had my car for 3 months, and that's a lot of maintenance that needs to happen. When someone's driving for rideshare, on average, my renters usually drive about 1,000 miles a week. If they're really out there grinding, they're driving 8 hours, 9 hours a day, 1,000 miles a week. On average, I think my cars go around about 30,000 miles a year. I know that sounds like insane to some people, but that's just this business. I know my cars are going to do that, so that's fine. I'm totally cool with that. That's what I expect. That's what I plan for. When someone drives 4,000 miles a month, that's an oil change every other month at least. So if someone has my car for 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, there's a lot that needs to happen. And I just want to provide an experience to my renters, and I think that you guys should provide an experience to them where it's just super easy, super minimal. I'd like to take after like large rental companies. Hertz has a program that they do. They rent out cars, and every 28 days they have them bring the car back to them, do an oil change, look over it. I don't like that they do that. I have a renter right now that they literally went from HYRECAR or from Hertz to HYRECAR because they made them go in all the time. They just want to keep the car for a long time. So that's fine. I don't want that issue. I don't want them having to drive, because I have a renter that lives 70 miles from me. The another one lives like way over there. Like, for them to drive all the way to me, that's time, that's money, that's their effort. They got to pay for gas. I don't want to inconvenience them at all. So I have a few things that I do for maintenance. Oil changes are easy. There's two things that you can do. You can either open up a commercial plan with Firestone. I know that you can open up a commercial plan with Firestone and you can have like fleet management. So your renters, everywhere they go, there's a Firestone everywhere. Well, anyways, in Southern California, I'm just talking about where I'm at. I don't know about where you're at. This could be different for other places, but for here in Southern California, there's a Firestone everywhere. They can go and get an oil change. They just say that it's my account. They show up. It charges my card. If there's any issues, they don't tell the renter. They let me know. You could do a commercial account, or I have them just go to a dealership. It's a little bit more expensive for an oil change at a dealership, but I know it's being done right. I know that it's just easier. And then the dealership calls me and I pay for it over the phone. And it's just easy that way. The renter, they can either make an appointment themselves or I'll make an appointment for them, matter of fact, if they want me to. I've done it multiple times for the renter. She's like, let me know when you want to go. I'm free these days. Okay, your appointment's at Tuesday at 10 o'clock. She shows up. They call me. If there's any issues, they call me. It's just easy that way. The first time I had to do an oil change with a renter, I made an appointment. We met there together. I paid for it. We sat there the whole time together, hour and a half, and then she left and I was like, this is the worst. Actually, that was like the worst experience. We just sat there like 2 hours for the oil change. That was ridiculous. So the next time we had an oil change, I brought a car and we swapped. I had another car that was the same price and we just swapped. If you can do that, that makes it easy. That way you can get your car back, you can check it, and then, you can send that one back out. So that was nice. But again, that was her having to change car if she liked it or didn't like it. That was just another thing to inconvenience them. So I don't do that. So what I do is I have them take it to the dealership. The dealership will let me know if there's any issues, if there's any problems with the car. I'll have it or won't have it fixed depending on what it is. Sometimes the dealership is way too expensive. So that's what I do as far as oil changes. Now for tires, you shouldn't need tires too often, but sometimes you will. I recently had someone that needed tires. I knew when I rented them, I was going to need tires in about a month or two. It depends on how much they drive it. Sometimes they don't they don't drive that much, and sometimes they do. So I knew they were going to need tires. So I had to set it up where I bought it at Costco. I have a Costco membership. I set it where the tires were going to be shipped. I set up an appointment and I had the renter, instead of coming to me, and they live 75 miles away, I'm not going to have them come all the way to me just to put tires on the car. I trust Costco. Costco will get it done. I have her show up to the appointment at Costco. I already bought the tires. I paid for it with my card, shipped them there. She shows up. They put the tires on the car. It's all on my membership. I have the warranty. And then that's that. I have her text me pictures when it's done. And then that's it. And you just keep going. They can keep going on their merry way. I don't have to show up for it because who wants to spend extra time? This is supposed to be passive. I don't want to spend extra time at Costco, at the dealership fixing my cars. I want them out there. I want that easy for them, and I want it easy for me. So just having oil changes done where they can go and get them done, where you can set it up to where you pay for it, that's the best way. You won't need tires too often. Hopefully you can do that in between rentals. But if someone has your car for 7 months, you do not want to end the rental. You want them to continue to rent, because you can't get any better than 100% occupancy on a car rental. I mean, that's just beautiful. That's the best. 100% occupancy rate is the goal. Getting a long-term renter is the goal. It's no work. It's the least amount of work. The car's always rented. Every day you're getting paid. Whether it's Saturday, it's Monday, doesn't matter. You're getting paid. So that's the best. So I'm going to keep going. The next thing with having a long-term renter is mechanical issues or things that go wrong with the car. It's a machine. It has moving parts. Things are going to break, especially with all my cars are 5,000 or under. I only buy cheap cars and, good, reliable cars, Honda Civics, good, reliable cars. But things are bound to happen. Things are going to go wrong. It's a piece of machinery, and that's fine. I take care of my cars. Everything that needs to get done, I get done. I want a good car and a good experience for my renters. But things happen. And so there's two things that you need to have is preparation for mechanical errors. One is a really good towing package. Is if you have insurance, upgrade the roadside assistance so you have towing included. I don't do that because it's expensive with my insurance company. Also, it's rented out, so I don't want to do that. But I have AAA. And you can get AAA for a year. It's like $50. I don't know if they have it in your area. I don't know that much. I know they have it for me. I'm just gonna let you guys know my experience and what I do. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, then that's okay. But I use AAA, 51 bucks a year. I get 4 100-mile tows, 100 miles. They should not be more than 100 miles for me, but I have someone that's way far away. 75 miles to get that towed out of my pocket. I mean, it's like $10 a mile sometimes. That would be insane. So you have a tow package, you know, get the tow package. It's worth it. Hopefully you don't have more than 4 tows in a year. If it's the same car, it's time to get rid of that car. It's falling apart. But I have the tow package. Please, please, please do that. When something happens and something goes wrong, when your car broke down the side of the road, now or never makes or breaks if you're gonna really perform for them or not. You can end the rental and just leave it at that. That sucks, but I want to take care of my renters. I would go pick them up. I will go get them an Uber. I'm so sorry. We'll get the car fixed. And that leads me into the next thing you need to have for mechanical issues is a really good mechanic. You need to learn basic stuff like how to change oil filters and oil and stuff like that. But I'm not a car guy. I don't know how to change the transmission. I don't know how to change these things, and that's okay. I don't need to be. I hire people for those purposes, and I have a really good mechanic. He gives me really good prices. I trust him. I know he knows what he's talking about. I will always just bring my cars to him, and that's just how it is. And if you don't have a good mechanic, you need to find one. I'm not talking about at a dealership. I'm not talking about at one of these huge chain places because you're going to be paying. It's time to find a mechanic that you can build a relationship with, that you can learn to trust, and that has your best interest. Now, I'll always, if anything ever has a problem, wherever the car is, I will have it towed straight to his shop. And that's cool because that's easy for me. I don't even need to show up. I can just say, hey, I have my car, needs to be towed, boom, boom. And it's just simple. I have a strategy, I have a plan, things that just, if something goes wrong, this, and then that's it. And it's executed. I don't need to panic. I don't need to worry. It's not that bad. It's okay. So I just do that. And if you have those things set up in advance before something goes wrong, then it'll just be smooth. It'll be a better experience for you. It'll be a better experience for your renters. Now you can just go through it the first time and then learn. And that's what I've done. I've just learned as I've gone. I never had anybody like this to share with me like, hey, you should probably have the AAA tow package because it's going to be $175 for you to tow this if it breaks down. Dang, that sucks. I could have just had a free tow for $50. So, you know, just, I'm here for you. I got you. All right, so this next one's going to be a little difficult for me to say, and take it with a grain of salt. This is how I run my business. If you operate a different way, that's totally fine. I understand. This is just how it is. So I have a renter. I talk about her all the time. She's had my car for 7 or 8 months. Recently, she got sick, and she was not able to pay. Everyone with HYRECAR, everyone that I've had that I've always rented, rents for the 2-day minimum, and then they rent day to day to day to day, extending 1 day at a time because they go and hustle. They go drive for Uber. They get their money for the day. They get their payout. They pay for the rental the next day. And then the next day they go and drive for Uber and they hustle, and then they get their money and they pay for another day with the car. And they just pay 1 day at a time. Literally, I've had this girl renting my car for 8 months and she's paid 1 day at a time. One day. Who knows when she's going to bring it back? I don't know. I thought... When I dropped it off for her for 2 days, I thought I was getting the car back in 2 days, 8 months later. So everyone pays for it 1 day at a time and they hustle and they pay for it a day at a time. They hustle and they pay for another day and they hustle. So she got sick. She couldn't go out there and hustle. She let me know, I'm sick. I can't go out there and hustle. I will pay the days back once I feel better. And some people would have said, no, give me my car back. You're late. It doesn't matter. Pay me my money. Now, she had been good to me. We had built up this relationship. I trust her. She's had my car for a while. She hasn't gotten any accidents. I don't want another renter. I feel good with her with my car. She cares about it. She drives it like it's her own. That's the best. If I have a person like that, I want to take care of them. I don't want to do them dirty. So, I'm not even doing them dirty. I mean, if you want your car back, get your car back. You're the owner, whatever. But she was late and I was like, okay, maybe a day or two. So 2, 3, 4, 5 days went by and she's still in pain. She was 5 days late and I let her know, hey, how are you feeling? 5 days later, she's like, I'm still not feeling great. I was starting to get a little nervous, but she had the car for so long. I was like, whatever, if I just have to go get the car back, because I have a GPS, so I could just go get the car back. whatever, 7 days, I'll just take my loss and whatever. So, but I let her know, like, hey, you have till this date to catch back up. And sure enough, she did. She went out there and hustled. I see, you know, the car started driving on the GPS. I seen it going. And she went out there and she paid for 3 days, and the next day she paid for another 3 days, and she caught back up. And this was like over a month ago, and you know, she's been good. So late fees, late times are going to happen. When I first started renting out my car, if they were like 1 hour late, I was freaking out. I was like, where are you? Where's my car? Pay me my money. Blah, blah, blah. It's not that big a deal. These people are out there that are renting off HYRECAR are hustling for their money. They're out there working hard. And your car is the tool and the way that they're able to make money. I give people grace now. I give them 1 to 2 days. If they don't, I give them a deadline. If they don't meet the deadline, I go and get my car. It's that simple. But I don't freak out when they're an hour late anymore. I give them a little bit of grace. I give them a little bit of time to catch back up. This is up to you. But when you have... Now, I don't do this at first. If they're late after their first 2 days of renting my car, no. But if they've had my car for a month, they've had my car for a couple months, and they're a little bit late, that is okay. I'll work with you. We'll work something out. We'll figure it out, because the long-term rentals are just my bread and butter. They're like the key to HYRECAR. It's 100% occupancy. It's the most money I'm going to make. It's with someone I know that's driving the car. You know, when you first start driving a car, it's a little different. You don't know how it drives. You might a little scrape something. When you've had it for a couple months, you know how it drives. You're less likely to get in an accident or bump something. So I would rather have someone that's had the car for a while. So I want to keep them happy. So if you fall a little behind, that's okay. You have to pay and catch up by this date, and then we're good. Don't let it happen again. So that's something that you have to figure out within yourself. That's something that you need to see if that's something that you are okay with or not okay with. But with long-term rentals, that's going to come up. So the next thing I want to let you guys know about was I had a renter, the same renter. I just talk about her all the time. It was ridiculous. So she's had my car about a month ago. She let me know that she was going to be returning the car. It was becoming too expensive for her. It was just becoming too much. And I understand it's expensive. It's $35 a day. You're out there hustling and grinding. I figured she had earned enough money to go buy a car. And that's why I assumed she had the car so long. I figured she's out there grinding, saving up money so she could buy herself a car. Anyways, I was telling my friend, I was like, man, I'm so bummed. She's had my car for so long. It's been just so nice having that consistent income. He was like, well, why don't you just give her a price break and say, hey, if you want to keep the car, how does like knocking some money off every day sound? And I said, you know, that sounds like a really great idea. If I was able to keep her as a renter, because I trust her, she's had the car so long, she lets me know how many miles there are, like it's time for oil change. She lets me know, and I appreciate that. So I let her know, hey, if I reduce the price by $4 or $5 a day, would you keep the car? And she said, actually, you know what, that would make a huge difference. And for me, that's only like what's 5 times 30 days? $5 a day times 30 days, like $120, $150. I would rather her keep it and make $150 less than try to find someone else, have it sit. So I told her that, and she said, yeah, absolutely. I would consider keeping it for a couple more months if you reduce the price. Cool. So I reduced the price. We did the paperwork. I called HYRECAR, sent it, and I reduced the price, and she's had it for another month now. So that's something that I just did, and I wouldn't do that for everyone, but I did want to let you guys know that this is something that you can do to keep a long-term renter. If you want to keep them renting and they're like considering leaving just because it's a little expensive, consider reducing your price. They've been faithful. They've been renting for a while. Companies do this all the time to keep customers. It's the lifetime value of your customer. Keep them coming back. You're going to have more money in the long run. So I reduced it. I'm still making, I think the rental is still over $30 a day, which is great. I'm happy. I'm still making money, so I can't complain. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for sticking out to the end. My name is Justin. I make videos about side hustles, new business ideas, and my own personal businesses. So thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe below. I'll see you guys in the next one.